All right, man. So I'm here with Omar again today. Welcome to the A Ball Report. Today we're going to be talking Yankees. We're going to be talking Yankees ball. Um, Very quickly to start off, I mean the Yankees. I'm sure you would agree they are. You know, there's not too much to complain about. They are the team to beat in the American League. Aaron Judge once again is just putting up video game numbers. Um, but with Aaron Judge, I wanted to ask you, um, is this finally going to be a year where we avoid a playoff slump by Aaron Judge?
I don't. I would hope. I want him to break out, but I pulled up the stats, his career playoff stats. If I can, share that with you. So in 58 games played, he's batting 205, 45 hits, 60 home runs, 34 RBIs, OBP of 318, slugging 450, on base slugging percentage of 768. His strikeout rate is pretty high at 86. He's at 86 strikeouts. I would take 275 in the playoffs, 280, because nowadays we don't really have a lot of hitters that hit 315 like back in the Jeter days, Elgato Alfonso days, like Edgar Martinez days. We don't have those type of players anymore. But if he can hit 275, I'll take 275. I don't even care about home runs. I want him to hit for contact, just RBI, RBI, RBI. Is this gonna be the year? I don't know, because he had a good year last year during the season, and then come World Series, he was a no-show. So I'm just very afraid when it comes to the playoffs because to I think that we're gonna end up facing the Dodgers again in the World Series if we get
Y-
there.
Yeah, yeah, man. So for Aaron Judge, it's been a common trend for him to just have this playoff slump. I mean, he's once again, like I said, he's putting up video game numbers. I mean, he's doing things that you can't even do in MLB the Show. Like he is just like tearing it up right now once again. But for me, Aaron Judge is one of the most difficult superstars to ever evaluate in any sport. Why? Because when you look at a superstar, right? A superstar is supposed to give you his best performance when his best is needed, right? And so when Aaron Judge, to for a better lack of terms, when Aaron Judge hits the playoffs, to say that he's a shell of himself is such an understatement. It is such an understatement, and it's so disappointing. Now, to answer the question, I think I hope this is the year that we avoid a playoff slump from Aaron Judge. But if you just look at last postseason from Aaron Judge in 14 games, he's batting 184 with 9 hits and 3 bombs. I mean, you just can't have that. He checks all the boxes that you want in a superstar, both on and off the field, right? He is humble, he's a leader. It seems like he just doesn't make mistakes. He is absolutely fantastic. And that's an understatement in the regular season every year. But come playoff time, it's like, again, it's like he's it's an understatement to say that he's a shell of himself in the playoffs. And so I really hope that this is the season that he produces. I think with game 5 of the World Series and him missing that fly ball, I think I mean I would hope he's on a mission. I really would hope so. Again, the Yankees are the team to beat in the American League. But man, I don't want to look back in 20 years and question like what if, you know?
That would hurt a lot because if you look back into the great Yankees, I'm gonna use Derek Jeter as an example. Derek Jeter was hit the box as well when it came to the season. He wasn't a home run hitter, but he was a contact push 95 to 100 RBIs each season. But come playoff time, he took it to the next level. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't want Aaron Judge to go down in history as one of the worst superstars in the playoffs. Like you don't want that to be his, you know, the thing that people be like, but well, he hit 50, 60 home runs, but then come playoff time, he was batting 105, 130, struck out 90 times in the playoffs. That's not what you want Aaron Judge to be. But like you said, it's just like he becomes a shell of himself. It's like he's not the same Aaron Judge in the playoffs as he is in the season.
Again, yeah, again, absolutely. Again, when we're talking superstars, when you're a superstar athlete, superstars they put out their best performance when their best is needed. And I know we're talking Yankees today, but this is why I put Jalen Brunson as the king of New York ahead of Aaron Judge, is because, granted, Jalen Brunson doesn't have two MVPs, but when there's such thing as playoff Jalen Brunson. I mean, there is, right? So, and that's my argument. It's like, while I will never discredit what he does, what he has done, and what he's continuing to do, the question mark and what's really taking a toll on his legacy, I would even argue, is his playoff slumps. So which leads me to my next question. Talking about stars, I want to ask you, Ben Rice. Now, he's not a superstar by any chance, right? But as far as the Yankees go and his story, do you see Ben Rice as a future star for the New York Yankees?
He may not be a star, but I consider him a rising star. I think that this year has proved that he can be a star. If you look at his stats again, well, the 2024 he hit 171, but didn't he have an injury as well during the 2024 season? He had some type of injury, correct?
He did, and he didn't play as much. A lot has to do with Giancarlo Stanton's injury. So
Hmm.
this is like his first season where he's getting the starts, and he's seeing the field a lot more.
I'm looking at his stats now. All of last year, he had 152 at bats. This year, I would say we're what, almost midway in the season. He has 191 at bats, and he's batting 241, 25 RBIs. That's pretty good. I think that if the Yankees give Ben Rice a chance, I think he'll develop into a superstar. I think right now he's a rising star. If the Yankees
Absolutely.
utilize him the right way and give him, as I say, that pain defensively, offensively, if you allow him to grow, because that's how you grow players, is by putting them out there when the going gets tough. I think he could develop into a great superstar. I really believe that.
Absolutely. And if you ask me, I think he's going to be a Yankee for a long time. I do. I think you just look at he has that typical underdog New York tail. He's got like some kind of aura to him that really I see a future star in him. I think he will eventually become a star. I think he's going to be a big part of what the Yankees do in the future. I know for the last month and a half or so, since like April 30th, he hasn't really been hitting well. He's going to see less of the field with Giancarlo Stanton coming back come June 16th or so. But I mean, the guy born and raised in Massachusetts. I don't know if you knew this, but this is the best part for me. Born and raised in Massachusetts, grew up a Yankees fan. He
Mm.
grew up a Yankees fan. He's a farm system guy. We brought him up on typical like New York gritty underdog story. He takes Juan Soto's number. There's a lot of controversy behind that. And in his first 22 games this year, I mean, he was absolutely raking. He was. Um, and in about the last month and a half or so, uh, he's hitting 208 with a 666 OPS. Obviously, that's not great.
Mm.
And again, he's going to see less time on the field with Giancarlo Stanton coming back. But I mean, the guy speaks Spanish. Let's talk about it. The guy speaks Spanish, fluent
Yeah,
Spanish. He's out.
yeah.
He's out there in the dugout, just singing Bad Bunny. It's like he was made for New York. That's what it feels like, and I see a bright future. I do.
I really thought I was going to see him in the PR parade yesterday
He
because Ben
probably
Rice would be the
was.
type of person to show up in the PR parade and just a whole vibe, or the DR parade. Ben Rice has the personality to be a Yankee. He has that humble, gritty, I started from the bottom, now I'm here type of personality. Just like the legends from before. There's a lot of Yankees that were like from the system and they became stars. Like Jeter is one of them. He was a prospect guy. Judge, you know, I can name a whole bunch of them, and I feel like Ben Rice fits the personality of the Yankees. And I think that if the Yankees, I hope and pray they never trade him, because he has been in a lot of Yankee fans' mock trade for like Devers or something like that. I just feel like stick with Rice, and because Goldschmidt is gonna eventually, So I think that Ben Rice is the way to go. Give the kid a chance. You gave Dominguez a chance. Why not Rice? And I think Rice has been doing better than Dominguez this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mentioned Giancarlo Stanton and his return, which is approaching sooner than expected. I wanted to ask you with Giancarlo Stanton's return. So Aaron Boone came out and talked about his return. Um, we're looking at June 16th, possibly. Now, obviously, Giancarlo Stanton is not going to play every day. Even when he was healthy last year, he just wasn't playing every day. We're going to, uh, I say, 3 games on, 3 games off kind of deal until October hits. But with Giancarlo Stanton coming back into the lineup, how do you think Aaron Boone is going to manage this?
It's going to be very difficult to manage it because it's like you have so many offensive juggernauts that already had meshed. The chemistry is there. I believe putting Stanton in the lineup is just going to disrupt all that chemistry. But you're not paying a guy the big bucks to sit on the bench either.
Absolutely.
Now, he may not have a good season, but I'll take a 230, 240 from him and hit 20 home runs. I'll take that from him. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Come playoff time, that man is a different beast. That man is he does the job of judging himself. Like this guy is different. Like his discipline, he just believes in himself. You can see it in his face. Like he's really a monster in the playoffs. I think come playoff time, Aaron Boone's gonna have to let him play full time. So I think
Absolutely.
he's gonna have to ease him into
Yeah.
that.
And to me, it's a good problem to have. I think it's a good problem to have for the Yankees because obviously, our run scoring is not the issue. It is by far not the issue. If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, the Yankees are averaging the most runs per game in the entire league right now. And so that kind of leads me to my next question. Um, there, while there's not too much to really complain about when it comes to the Yankees, um, what do you see as the biggest issue with the Yankees right now?
The biggest issue, I would say the bullpen. The bullpen hasn't established an identity yet. And
Mm-hmm.
come playoff time, you need your bullpen
Yep.
because this is not the 1998, 1999, early 2000s that your pitcher can go 9 innings and throw 130 pitches and come 4 or 5 days and come do the same thing. We need our bullpen. If our bullpen is not strong, we're gonna get demolished in the playoffs. We're not gonna make it. That's
Absolutely.
that's my, that's what I'm. We could deal with third base because we can keep switching guys around, but the bullpen, Devin Williams needs to really start being Devin Williams again because it's like he's disappeared.
I agree, man. I agree. For me, it's also the bullpen. I mean, when I'm looking at this bullpen, there's really only one guy that I trust to come in and get big strikeouts, and that's Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver is our closer. I think, you know, and by the way, he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Luis Hill, we don't get Luis Hill back until July, right? And so when you look at the bullpen, I mean, there's really only one guy that I look at that's trustworthy to get big strikeouts. That's Luke Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Devin Williams hasn't been what we expected him to be. I mean, for Christ's sake, we changed the beard policy for the guy, and he
Mm-hmm.
smoked. I watch him smoke like the better part of 12 starts or 12 games, I should say. Like it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and you know maybe the Yankees make a move and but there's really not too many relievers to go
No.
out and target. So we're gonna have to stick with what we got. I agree with you. The bullpen is where I see that's the biggest issues that the biggest issue that the Yankees have right now. Um, Luke Weaver again out 4 to 6 weeks. Luis Hill, we don't get him back until July. So
I just pulled up the bullpen, Ryan. Now that you mentioned it, and it's very worrisome. Look, we have Luke Weaver out for 15, Jake Cousins out for 60 days. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name, and I always botch his name. Brubaker, JT Brubaker out for 60. All we have left is Mark Leiter Jr., Devin Williams, Tim Hill, which I think Tim Hill is the lefty specialist.
mhm,
Ian Hamilton, Loizaga, whatever his name is. Like I don't know, I never know how to pronounce his name, but he hasn't been himself for a couple of seasons. Fernando Cruz, he picked it up and he got injured, so he lost his mojo. Then you got Jerry De Los Santos, Hedrick, and Yarborough, but Yarborough is starting now. They put him in a starting rotation now. That's how desperate you can see that the Yankees are in desperate need of pitching because you putting relievers now as your starting pitcher, and then Cole, as you know, out for the season.
It's scary. It's scary. And while our offense is not really a worry, again, we're averaging the most runs in the MLB. I mean, come playoff time, you're facing the best pitchers in the world, you know? So that's definitely an issue. Um, we still got Luke Weaver coming back, Luis Hill, we get him back. Let's talk about Marcus Stroman just for a second. Can we get rid of this guy? I mean, seriously, can we just like give me a bag of chips, give me like 3 water bottles, and like maybe a container of creatine so I can add to my supplements for the gym. Because I mean, God, my God, this guy is he's just a bag of ass. Like the guy's coming in, he's swaggy, we get it, with the do-rags and all of that nonsense. Cool. You look good. You suck. You freaking suck. Like seriously, man. Can we get rid of this guy?
And then what bothers me is if you're gonna talk smack,
Back it up.
back it up. At least be a good starter, dude. The first 2 games you got smoked out the stadium. Where they're paying him, I think. I don't even. I'm scared to even look at his contract right now because it's ridiculous. His contract, and nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. Let's both take a look at his contract right now because it's like nobody wants this guy. Trying to load up let me see. Marcus Stroman. I think he's on a 2-year deal. Oh, yeah, $18 million. $18 million.
To think that right now we're hurting for a second baseman, no? And look at what Gleyber Torres is doing with the Tigers.
He's raking,
For
dude.
an extra $10 million.
For all that, we should have just kept him.
$10
and got
million.
rid of-
That's what we're talking about. $10
we should have
million.
got rid of Stroman and
I
just
mean,
kept
it's just
Gleyber.
it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So all that being said, while that is, rightfully so, what Yankees fans should complain about, the one thing we should maybe worry about, the Yankees are still the team to beat in the American League. No doubt. So I know there's a lot of baseball left. I know we just hit the 64 game mark or so.
Yes. Let me check out the AL standings. Yeah.
64, 66 around there.
Around there, yeah.
There's a lot of baseball left, but I wanted to ask you, man, if you could give me right now with where we are in the league right now, with where everybody's at, if you could give me some World Series predictions, man, I want to hear it.
I'm gonna give you a prediction, and then I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be the surprise of the National League. I think it's gonna be Yankees Dodgers again, the rematch, round 2. But the Mets can surprise because I really believe I'm a Yankee fan, but I support New York, and I feel that if the Mets had their full team last year, I think they would have beat the Dodgers because the Dodgers destroyed the Yankees, but they were shaky with the Mets. The Mets just kept coming back and going back and forth, something the Yankees didn't do in the World Series. But the Mets kept battling; they kept coming back. So I think a full, especially with Soto, I think Soto's going to pick it up. He's getting his swag back. Soto's back to his shuffle, and you see him smiling. That's a dangerous thing right there. If Soto
Yep.
picks it up, the Mets are the team to beat in the National League. Like Soto wants that rematch with the Dodgers. He wants it. He wants to smoke him out the building. I think he despises them because you could tell last year when he was sitting, the one and only person sitting in that dugout, he's like, I'm gonna get back here one day and I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you guys. Like I'm gonna make sure that I beat you because what I feel right now, I never want to feel it in my career again. He had that look in his face. I don't know if you agree with me, but you could tell.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And you and I are not too far off. I think it's going to be Yankees Mets. I think the Mets. I mean, let's talk about it. I think the Mets right now are the best team in baseball. I'm a Yankees fan. Right now, the New York Mets are the best team in baseball. They just are. And I mean, maybe this is a little bit of recency bias, but look at how they played the Dodgers in that series. Like they just played a good series against the Dodgers. I think come playoff time, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past anybody if the Mets beat the Dodgers. I think in the American League, as a Yankee fan, I think you better watch out for the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
The Tigers look damn good.
Mm-hmm.
They look damn fucking good. And I mean, outside of that, I think the American League is really just top heavy. At the end of the day, I think the Yankees are still the team to beat. Of course, in the National League, the Dodgers, they are a heavy favorite. I think they're plus 285 to win the World Series. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, but the Yankees are number two and the Mets are number three. It's
Yeah,
plus 500 Yankees,
yeah,
plus eight something Mets around there. So
I would say that, but you also have to remember, Ryan, the starters for the Dodgers, or the majority of the pitchers are injured right now. They're injured. What happens when they come back? Come playoff time, I know they're going to be back before playoff time. Now we're talking about a whole different Dodger team. Roki
absolutely
Sasaki
no.
is injured. I think Yamamoto is injured. Uh, Blake Snell, I think, is injured. There's a whole bunch of injuries that they have right now. The only reason why they still afloat, they're staying afloat, is because they have depth.
No doubt. No doubt.
It's the only
But
reason.
you and I both know this to be true. The game of baseball is the only sport where it's all about getting hot at the right time. So while we're looking at the Yankees and the Dodgers or the Yankees and the Mets, there's no doubt in my mind like a team like Detroit can mess around and clip the Yankees in the playoffs. Or
Mm-hmm.
let's not forget about the Padres or the
Mm-hmm.
Phillies in the National League.
Or the
I mean,
Braves.
or the Braves. I mean, the Braves could. There's a lot of baseball left. There's a lot of baseball left. The Braves could shoot. I don't know if you're a sports betting man, but I would bet right now on the Braves to make the playoffs. Right now, I would have threw that money. I told my friend who's a Braves fan to throw some money on the Braves to make the playoffs when they started off the way they started off in the beginning of the season. So baseball is just, I mean, anything could happen at any time. I mean, we saw the Mets clip the Brewer. They came out of nowhere, and the
Mm-hmm.
Francisco Lindor turned into Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He
And Pete
did.
Alonso. And Pete Alonso too.
And Pete Alonso, yeah, that's right. Which, by the way, he's the National League MVP.
He has to
There's
be.
no,
Dude, he has to be. If he doesn't win
there's
it,
no debate.
there's bias against New York. Do you
There's
see what he's doing right? He's holding up the Mets right now. The Mets have won 40 games and have beaten the majority of over 500 teams. Alonso has stayed a consistent line all year, bro. He has to win. He has to be at least top three for MVP this year. He has to be.
Pete Alonso is a big reason why Juan Soto is coming back to life
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because he is that security blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Pitchers are willing to, pitchers are not. They're really not trying to attack Pete Alonso as much as they were, say, back end of last season. But now Pete Alonso's out here just raking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. From the beginning of the season, Ryan, he's stayed a consistent line. He hasn't turned it off. He has not. Like you could tell. Like even though I'm not a Met fan, but again, the Mets almost did him dirty.
Yeah.
They almost did him dirty. They almost let him walk. Like you should be grateful. Like Pete Alonso started it all for you guys. Like, and you're gonna dare not sign him? No, man. That's the
And
but
if I'm not mistaken, isn't he the longest tenured Met right now on that team?
I think so because he was there. I think he was there. Was he there before Lindor?
Yeah, he was there before Lindor. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because a lot of that
yeah,
team has been disbanded.
yeah.
But what about is Nimmo? No, Nimmo's not in that team anymore. Let me see his name.
Nimmo, Brandon
Yeah,
Nimmo. Yeah,
yeah.
he's on that team.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Pete Alonso's the longest tenured Met. I mean, he deserved to get paid. They just, I mean, I guess he took it personal.
I would
I
have.
guess he took it personal,
I would
and
have.
he's balling.
I would have like, how dare you not try to sign me after I stuck it out with you guys, like, and I raked in the playoffs. Like I was the one that got you to the NLCS. Let's call it what it is. Me and Lindor. If it wasn't for Pete Alonso, Lindor wouldn't be able to do it on his own.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I just want to say one thing. As good as the Yankees offense is, the Yankees offense wouldn't be as good as it is right now had we kept Juan Soto. When 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 the number came out for Juan Soto, it started off, it was, I think it was at 625 million
Mm-hmm.
to re-sign him. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what it started off or
Mm-hmm.
started out as. People call me crazy. People call me crazy because I said I didn't even want to re-sign him for that number because there's just so many holes to fill on this team. With the Mets signing Juan Soto and the Yankees using all that money to bring in the pieces we got, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, to name just two off the top of my head. I mean, that Yankees offense looks good. It looks damn good. I think there's only two teams, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Yankees and the Diamondbacks to score more than 10 runs
Mm-hmm.
in I forget what it is. There's some stat out there that, like, I mean, you saw that. What was it? The Yankees in the beginning of the season against the Pirates. Just remember the torpedo bat talk.
Yes, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
That stuff died down a little bit.
About time, because it's like that's not cheating. I don't understand. That was a whole thing that I was like, you guys are just don't like the Yankees, so of course you're gonna find a way to just say something that they're cheating. Aaron Judge wasn't even
Absolutely,
using a torpedo bat. Aaron Judge was still using a regular bat.
he's still not using the torpedo bat.
Yeah, and then people were claiming that he was. I'm like, he's look at the bat. He's not using a torpedo bat. He's using his regular bat.
Francisco Lindor has been using the torpedo bat since last year. Nobody talks about it.
No, of course nobody's gonna talk about it. People started talking about torpedo bats this year.
Yeah, there are other teams. There are other players on other teams that have been using it first.
No, but according to everybody, the Yankees are the cheaters that they started the trend with
You
torpedo
know
bats.
why though, right? Because the Yankees implemented sports science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
What they did was in the offseason, what they did was with the torpedo bats, what they did was they took stats. They documented statistics with every hitter and on which part of the bat every hitter on that Yankees rotation is hitting the ball with the most. And
Mm-hmm.
so they took those stats and they acclimated the wood and the sweet spot is what they call it.
Yeah.
So Jazz Chisholm has his sweet spot on his bat on a different spot than Anthony Volpe does
Mm-hmm.
because that's where he's making contact the most on his bat. So if you ask me, one, it's within regulation, it's within the rules, and two, the Yankees just did it better. They beat everybody to it. So now teams are trying to do it, but I mean the Yankees just outdid everybody.
I agree. I agree. But it's there's always gonna be people that are not gonna I'm not gonna say educate, but I'm gonna say it, educate themselves, research before they start accusing people of cheating. You have to educate yourself because like you said, you're the type of person that you've read up on this and you've noticed that the torpedo bats have been a thing for years now. The only reason why it's made mainstream media is because it's now the Yankees that are using it. But I don't understand what the problem is. If MLB allows it, then it's not cheating. Obviously, if they caught the Yankees cheating, they would have told them no torpedo bats, take him out now. But MLB doesn't have a problem with it. Why should fans have a problem with it? And it still takes
Absolutely.
skill, Ryan, to hit the ball. Like, let's call it what it is.
Yeah, you still gotta hit the
You
ball.
could give me a torpedo bat. I don't mean I'm gonna hit a 95 mile per hour fastball or slider. I don't
Yeah,
mean that. I don't mean that. You
yeah,
still
you
need
still
knees to be able to hit the ball and coordination.
still gotta make contact.
Yeah, if you don't
Absolutely
make no
right.
contact, then I can grab Babe Ruth's bat. That don't mean I'm gonna hit a home run.
Hmm. So you and I agree. Yankees to the World Series, no?
Yankees, but now you got me switching my pick. I'm thinking of Subway World Series. You got me believing in the Mets. Like I just looked at the NL East standings and the Mets are 42 and 24. They're leading the NL East by 4 games and everybody else is just like sub The Nationals, Braves, and Marlins is sub 500.
And as much as I hate to say it, Juan Soto's coming to life.
Yeah, I told you his mojo is
Slowly
back.
but slowly but surely, he's coming to life. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the script writers, they got to be cooking, right?
Hmm.
Yankees, Mets, World Series. Oh man, count me in. I'm there. I'll go. I'm there.
So you're gonna have to drop like 2 bands, 3 bands, or more than that to sit the fly zone.
I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. As long as I don't see a witness a game 5 like we did last World Series, I
That's what I'm scared of because you know what? The Dodgers can talk smack. They're on the West Coast. A Met fan? They'll never let us live.
yeah, that's a scary reality. But again, we got a lot of baseball left. Anything could happen. Injuries could happen. Knock on wood.
Oh
Injuries could
man.
happen. We still, we still don't know what teams are gonna do as trade moves go, and there's a lot. There's still a lot to unfold here. But I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna wrap it up. Before I wrap it up, is there anything else you had in mind?
No, man. Go New York, go. That's what I'm that's what I,
Facts.
that's what I have to say.
Facts. All right, man. Thank you for your time today. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go.